Good evening, guys. Good evening, all of you. You able to hear me, everyone?
Hi, good evening, Devon. Yeah, we can hear
Yes,
you.
sir.
Yeah. Fine. So, yeah, in today's class, we'll be discussing again a web server only. Again, I will be walking you through the web server, but in the Windows, because yesterday we have seen what is a, a web server and I mean how to convert into a web server, but by launching a Linux server. But in today's class, first we are going to launch Windows server that we have already seen in the first class. But today we are going to convert Windows Server into a web server. And still, some of you are having doubt when it comes to understanding what is a web server like. Is it only if you just install a web package like we discussed yesterday, only it will become web server, or do we need to do any other extra configuration also? So first, let me explain on a high level. Let's say this is an index file. This is an index file. And inside this, so I will be having different web pages, right? Like hotel.html, flight.html, bus.html, train.html. So what are all these? Again, these are all big pages. Hotel is a big page, flight is a big page, train is a big web page, bus is a big web page, right? So if you click, so when you go to IRCTC website, like yesterday I have shown you, when you click on bus, what happened? It opened a new tab and it opened an exclusive web page which is related to only bus. Same. When you click on that option of a flight, it opened a new tab in your Google browser and it was showing you a new web page which exclusively have all the information about flights. Same. Hotel and then trains. So what happened? All these different web pages, I'll write with different. These all are individual different web pages. And what we have done them, we have combined all these, you have combined all these different web pages into a single file called index file. Why index file means it's a universal file. If anyone asks you, do we have to keep only an index file? It's not compulsory. No, it is not mandatory that the home page file should be index file, but it is a universally followed convention. But if you want to change the name, yes, you can change it, right? But this is universally followed. Let's take an example. You want to take a patient to hospital, right? You can take in your own vehicle also, right? You can take in your own car, in your own jeep. But why do we prefer ambulance? Because even though in the traffic, everyone know universally, if you an ambulance is coming means everyone gives way even though there is a traffic, so you can reach quickly to the hospital. But whereas if you are going in your private vehicle, also you can go, but like I said, no one knows that, right? They think it's just a normal vehicle and no one will be giving you the way, so maybe it might take delay to reach to the hospital. Same place, same way here also, it's not mandatory that the file name has to be indexed, but universally it is followed. The home page of any website, whether it's a Facebook, whether it's a Google, whether it's an Instagram, whatever website it is, that we call it an index file, right? So what happened? Yeah, we combine all these different web pages and we will attach them to this main page, the home page. I already told you, whenever you open any website, the first page which you see, that we call it as home page. And where is the web content related to the home page is placed? It is placed in a file called index file. And inside that index file, all the different web pages related coding has been written by the web developers, UI UX developers. That's what I said. That is not our job. They will take care of it. HTML developers, right? PHP, CSS developers, JavaScript developers. They will take care of writing this bus, flight, the coding behind that web pages. And then what we do, all this entire application, so this entire web pages, this home page, all this together, we call it as web application. So the group of when you combine all these things together, we call it as web application. So now you are ready with your web application. But how can you show to the customers? When you type irctc.com, how can you see the website? Because this website has been placed in a computer. This website has been placed inside again a server. Then it becomes a web server. If you simply launch a Windows server or a Linux server, but if you do not have any web application inside that server, it is not called web server. It is simple server. It's a Linux server or an empty Windows server. But once you have a web application installed in that particular server, then you can call it as a web server. And how can you show to the customers? That's what I mean. How this web application will be run? It has to be run by a software. Right? That's why we call it as a web package. Yesterday, we have installed a web package called HTTPD. Right? So what this software will do? This is a web package. So whenever you install this web package, it will search for any web application. Okay, if any application is there, then with the help of that software, this web application will be shown to the customers. Of course, same thing yesterday we also have done, but some of you are having confusion. That's what I told you. I will be explaining again slowly in the coming class also. Now let's go ahead and first I will launch one Windows server. Okay. Windows server, Windows instance one. It doesn't take much time because this is nothing new. We have already done in the previous classes. But after that, we are going to do something new in today's class. So we'll search for AWS console. And even though if you did not create an created account, still no problem. You will still be having 4 days holidays in the coming days. Then I will say later in tomorrow's class. Then you can slowly get ready with your laptops, create your AWS account, and then start practicing. Okay, I'm in Mumbai region, AP South 1. And okay, if you want, you can just leave it keypads because you won't get charged for keypad security grabs. No one asked me doubt. I thought someone will ask me, but no one asked. But still, I'm saying, even though you just leave it the security groups and keep air without deleting, you don't need to worry. You won't get any bill for them. They are completely free of charge. This also yesterday we are used for Linux security group, right? I don't want, so I'm deleting it. So in the coming classes, I will explain you. So what we actually do in the companies, whether we delete it all the time or can we use it again and again, that we'll discuss in the coming classes. Okay, for now, I just want to keep it as a brand new account. Okay, everything 000, only one. Let's go ahead and launch a Windows server. Instance one, okay. Windows one. Nice. Go for the free tier. Let's go Windows Server 2022 free tier. And then again t2.micro free tier. That's fine. Create a new keypad. So, Windows key. Create keypad. And security group. Like I said, if you want to give, always make a habit of giving a proper name because maybe in the future we will be creating multiple security groups. So whenever you see a security group, immediately you should be able to identify it. I will say Windows security group. Usually in the companies, we will be following some naming convention as per your project. I will give some examples. Okay. Once we once we start going into the proper regular services, important services in one of the class, I will give some examples. Okay, if your project name is like this, how do we usually give the name of the instance in the companies so that you'll get an idea. and that will be helpful for in your interview also. Okay, this is the name of the security group. Description also, if you want, you can change it and you can keep the same, but description leave as it is. Why? Because you see it gives you information when, on which date and on which time the security group has been created, so that uh, it will be just like an identification for you. So I don't recommend replacing description, but I always recommend, yeah, giving a name, proper name to the security group. And this we already know. The universal port of Windows operating system is RDP, Remote Desktop Protocol, and the number is 3389 and 30 GB. That's fine. Launch instance. So let it launch. Now you see, guys, what happened yesterday. How did we, in the yesterday's class we created web server. So what I have done first, I have created a Linux server, and then I have installed web package name. The name of the software is HTTPD. There are many softwares. There are many softwares like Nginx, Tomcat, uh, yeah, many. But yeah, whatever we want, you can launch. But all the softwares will do the same thing. It will convert your server into a web server. And after that, after installing the software, we have created the index file, index.html, and inside that file we place some content like Linux 1, Linux 2, we have placed it. So is web server means only Linux? Can you convert only Linux server into web server? Can't you convert Windows into web server? Yes, answer is, so web server is nothing but a computer which is having a power to host a website. That can be a Linux machine, that can be a Windows server. So don't get confused. Okay, web server is a computer that can be a Windows computer or that can be a Linux computer which is having the power to host a website. That means which is having website inside it, and it can show to the customers. So in today's class, what we are doing, first we have launched Windows server, and now I am going to install web package, but it's not the same. For Windows, there is a different software that we call it as IIS. IIS. This is the software, web software for Windows. This is the web software or package for Linux. So once you have done that, you are converting your Windows server into a, again, web server. But the same thing again, here also, you need to create a file, index.html, and inside that file, you will place some content, whatever the web content you want to show to your customers, you will place that content inside this file, so that whenever customers in their laptop type the IP of your instance in their Google browser, they will be able to see the content, whatever the content you have posted inside that home page file, that is index.html file. So now let's go ahead. This one we already seen in yesterday's class. In the right, whatever this I explained, we already seen and we have done practicals in yesterday's. But today, this is something new which we are going to do in today's class. I think by this time the server should have been in running state. Yeah, it is in running state. So let's go ahead and connect to it. Actions, connect, RDP. Okay, we have DNS, we have username. Of course, we know password they give indirectly. We need to upload the PEM file. Upload. In my downloads folder, yeah, Windows key. And once you click on the decrypt password, it will become a password also is there. And what is the software? You know, RDC. Here I have it's, if you don't want to open this remote desktop by searching like this, there is one more shortcut method I will show you. See here, download remote desktop file. Simply download that. It will only download directly the RDC file with that values which you can connect directly. See, just double click that. You see, automatically, whatever the instance, the Windows instance which we launched, EC215, 206, that values is automatically it's taken. But what happened when we search RDC, we have to give manually username, administrator, these things. We will simply say connect. But of course, it will ask for the password only. So here we are just copying the password. But whereas if you are manually opening remote desktop connection, we have to give all these three values, copy and paste. That's the only difference, nothing more than that. Whatever you feel convenient, you can follow that process. Okay. Okay. Yes, I want to connect. Again, Windows is a heavyweight software. So if you have observed yesterday when we connected to Linux, immediately within 1 second it got connected. But whereas whenever you launch a Windows server and whenever you connect to it, it will take 1 to 2 minutes to load all the graphics because it supports both graphical user interface and command line interface. So just give it some time. It will load everything. You don't need to just keep it open. If you always want, you can always minimize this. You see here option is there. If you want to minimize, you can just minimize it. You don't need to wait till it comes up. You can do other works if you have, right? I think it should come up by this time. Okay, it's coming up. Few more seconds. Yes, I want to connect. In the right side also that options will come. Then we are good to go with that software. Yes. So now, so what happens guys here in, let me first show you, there will not be one folder. If you just go to the Explorer and if you go to the C drive, there will not be one folder that you will see later. But if you see how many, as of now, how many folders are there? Six. You can see here. Total six folder. Just remember, I'm just showing you. Now I'm going to show you how to install the web software in the Windows server. The beauty of this Windows OS is what happened if you remember in Linux, how did you install the web package? That software is not there already in the machine. We have downloaded from the internet by using that command yum install httpd. That means what happened? It downloaded from internet and then it installed. But whereas in Windows operating system, that also not desktop edition, server edition. I already explained you the difference between desktop edition and server in the first class when I explained you about history of OS, right? So in the server edition, because whatever we launched here, this is a server in Mumbai, right? I am sitting somewhere in the Europe. From my laptop, I am accessing this computer which is in Mumbai region, right? And this is a server edition. This is not a desktop edition. That's why the name is server 2022. Show you. If you go this PC, right click, properties. What is the name of this what is the version of this operating system? Windows Server. Yeah, you see Windows Server 2022 data center. But if you see in your laptops, you will not see this naming convention, right? Ours will be Windows 10, Windows 10 Home, Windows 8 like that. Because ours is desktop edition, but this is server edition. Server means which is given to the proper these data centers, the cloud servers. Now what I'm saying, in the server edition of Microsoft operating system, the Windows operating system of server edition, this IIS software is already there in the computer, but it's not installed. Listen carefully. IIS software is already there in the computer, but it is not installed. We'll just need to install it. And how can we do that? Just search here for server in the bottom, the search bar. Just search for server. So yeah, this one. We are searching for this something called server manager and just click on that, select. because what the instance type we launched is one CPU, 1 GB RAM, guys. That's why it is taking very slowly. But generally in the companies, we launch higher configuration like 80 GB RAM, right, 1 terabyte hard disk, 40 GB RAM, CPU cores. It will be very fast in the companies because we pay bill in companies. Like I told you, right? We pay monthly 40, 80 lakhs per month bill. But here we are not paying any bill. It's zero. That's why we are taking some low configuration machines. Obviously, it will be a bit slow. So just be patient till the options gets loaded. Yeah, you can close this, nothing. Yeah, here we are interested in this option called add roles and features. Add roles and features. Click on that. So I think it is still loading. Okay, yeah, it's still loading. Just one, because I'm not able to select this option. It will be selected once everything gets loaded here. Yeah, add roles and features. You don't need to do anything. Everything is next, next, next. Okay, just click on next. Same role based or feature based installation. It is selected. Just keep it as it is and click on next. This also you don't need to do anything. Just click next. Yeah, here you see these are all different types of softwares related to different services that can be related to networking, that can be related to security, that can be related to application, right? But here we are interested in one of the software called this one, web server. It was not selected. So what I did, now I selected that box. I tick that box, and then what we'll do, add features. Feature. That's it. And then you click on next. This is the only step where you need to select this and do next. Rest all other options are next, next, and finally, okay, these all just leave it as it is. Next, next, this also next. Yeah, finally install. Uh, Again, don't worry, I have prepared a separate document. I will share the document, this installation steps document also along with the recording video. You don't need to get confused about that. So now you see here, what happened? We did not download the software. Software is already there. We just activated it. We are just installing it. Now you see installation has started on our this Windows instance. Again, give it some 1 to 2 minutes because it will take uh, two 2 minutes time, not more than that. And then we will see the next steps. Not only that, once this installation completed, here you see as of now, only 3 blocks are there, two red color, one green color. Once this installation is completed, one more box will come green color with the same IIS. That means we have installed the web package, this one, web server IIS. Yeah, now it should not take more than a minute. Let it install. I'll just have a drink water. Okay, yeah, now you see, observe, did you observe? One box came. I will show you, of course, but I'm just showing you now itself. Before 3 boxes were there here, now extra box came out. Yeah, I think it's done. We can Close it. Installations. Yeah, you see. IAS. This was not there before. Now, but it was because just now we have installed. You can close this now. Now the installation is done. You can simply close this. And now, if you remember, how many folders were there in the C drive before? 6, right? 6. Now let's see how many will be there. How many? Now you see 7. Obviously, whenever you install software, we have seen yesterday class also. Whether it's a Windows machine or a Linux machine, whenever you install a software, automatically a new folder will be created related to that particular software. Same here also. There is one, I think, which one? Init pub, I think. Yes, this one. Inet pub. This is the folder that gets created only after you have installed that IIS software. And inside this also, we are not at all interested in all the other folders. The only folder we are interested is this one, www root. Select that. And already by default, there are some default files inside that. You can just delete them because we will create our own home file, that index file. Like I said again, it's not mandatory you need to keep index file. You can give any name, but it's a universally naming followed convention that index is a home page file. So what you do, right click, new text file, index. Just type index. I will say you later. Just type index, enter, and whatever the content you want to show to your customers, just type that web content. Okay. This is Windows web server, or maybe this web server is hosted on Windows 1. Save it, Control S, and you can close it. But you see, this is just a text document. This is a .txt, but it should be in a HTML format, right? So what we'll do, just you open the file. While saving it, file, save as. In the bottom, by default, it will be .txt will be there. Change that to all files, and you only manually enter the format .html. Okay, undo, save. Here, change this to all files and give .html. That's it, and then save, and you can close this. You can keep or you can delete this index, this notepad file, no issues. Okay, even though if you leave it or keep it, doesn't matter. If you want, you can delete it also. That's it. But this should be there. Now you can close it. So how can you access this website? If I want my customers to be accessing my website, I need to give them the IP address, right? Extend summary. Again, don't use private IP. Like I said, in the coming classes, in the networking class, I will say the exclusive difference between what is public, private, how it actually works. It's a very, very important concept. But till that time, yeah, just use public. So now, once we place this IP in the browser, the customer should be able to see that web content. This web server is hosted in Windows like that. Will be able to see or not? Or did we forgot anything?
I think you have to open some port, right?
Port number
Some port. You already know the answer. Which port? Not some port. What is the name and number?
HTTP.
80. 80.
Right.
80
Why?
port.
Because what is it's a web traffic. So web traffic means web traffic runs on a port called HTTP and it's port number 80. And have you opened the port number 80 on this instance? How can you check?
Security group.
Go to the security groups. You see, this is the security group, and you have opened only 3389. So that means you can go into the Windows machine. That is fine. But inside Windows machine, there is another room. Same like your server, right? Let's say this is your house. This is one room. This is another room. If you open this door, you can go only to this room only. If you want to go inside this room, what you need to do, you need to open the door of that room also. Then only you can go into that room. Same thing here also. When you launch a server, whether it's a Windows server or a Linux server, whatever it is, how many rooms will be there in a server? I mean, in our language, I'm saying room. How many ports we discussed will be there for any machine? There will be total 65,535 ports. That means each port have a specific reason. For Linux, there is one port number. For Windows, there is one port number. For HTTP, there is one port number. For Jenkins software, that is a DevOps software, it has one port number 8080. Like that, each and every software has its own port number. And when you install that software in a computer, and if you want to access that software, you need to open that particular port number related to that software. Then only you can access the software. Simply installing the software inside the machine doesn't mean you will access that machine. You need to also open the port related to that software. Then only you can traffic will go through that port and you can access that software. Okay. So now let's go ahead and open that port. Either you can go using the left side, you can go and click on security groups here, or simply you can click here also. And it will open the security groups page. Edit inbound rules. Add one more port. SS, no, HTTP, right? Yeah, here you can see HTTP. Again, for now, just give anywhere. I will say this all the reason later. What is custom anywhere, all these things. So, rules. Now, yeah, if you go back, just try to refresh. Anyone who is practicing in the mobile, iPad, I mean, who is seeing the video, you can check, guys. See, I'm able to see the web content which is hosted on that particular instance, Windows 1. So that's it. So you have launched a Windows server and you have converted that into a web server. But the only difference is yesterday it's a Linux server, today it's a Windows server, but ultimately it's a web server. Once you have done this, install the web package, and once you have the web application inside the server. Some of you might be having doubt. Okay, yesterday we have used our web servers. Yesterday we have launched two web servers in Linux 1, Linux 2, and we have attached to the load balancer. Will load balancer supports only Linux servers which has been converted to web server, or will it support web Windows also which has been converted to web servers? So let's go ahead and check that also. So what I'm going to do now, next step. Yeah, now you understood this. I'll just move this a bit up. Now we are already having one web server. This is our web server 1, which we have created in our Windows instance 1. Now what we are going to do, we will launch one more Windows instance, Windows 2, and of course this also we will be converting into web server, and then we will attach these both web servers to the load balancer, and then we will see whether we will be able to, whether load balancer will be able to redirect our traffic, who are the customers, our traffic to these web servers or not, so that our doubt will be clarified. Okay, load balancers not only supports Linux as a web servers, but also Windows web servers also. We will be able to confirm after this practical. Now I will be doing quickly because nothing new now. I'll be quickly launching one more Windows server and I will be converting it to the web server. Same 20, take the 2022 only server edition. Just make sure it is free tier server 2022. Select instance type, okay, t2.micro. Key pair, already we are having a key pair. You can use the same one. You don't need to create again new one. Security group also, you don't need to create. We already have created just before. So you can select this option, select existing security group. And from the drop down, you can select that Windows security group. And then, okay, this is 30 GB, fine. instances. Will I get some bill or not after today's class? Can anyone guess? Will I get some bill or not after today's class? Did I, what do you say? Did I exceeded my free tier limit anywhere?
Sir.
Yes or no?
No,
Ganesh
sir.
said no.
No.
Yes, we will get because it is exceeding 30 GB. That's what.
Yes. What is the free tier of hard disk storage? It is 30
30
GB.
GB.
But how much GB is running now currently? 30 plus 30.
60 GB.
60. So I will get bill only for storage, that also for 30 GB. Maybe 10 rupees or 12, I don't know, whatever. That's fine. Okay. So now connect to this instance. So again, if you want, you can practice or just leave it. Okay. You can just see mine. Decrypt password. Download remote desktop file. You can simply click on that. Copy the password. Connect. Paste it. Okay. Yes. Again, this also will take some 1 minute, like we discussed, because Windows. This is Windows 1. This is Windows 2, guys. Now we want to convert Windows 2 into a web server. So just let it load. Then we'll do it. So in case when you are using some higher end configuration, like I said, no need much higher also, even though if it's just 6 GB RAM, 8 GB RAM also, it won't take this much time while loading. It loads usually fast. Okay, I think it's loaded. Let's open. This is not needed. Straight away, we'll go ahead and we will install. Now that we know the steps, I'll search for server manager, right? Server. Yeah, server manager, enter. Add roles and features. Just give it some time. It is saying it is loading. Here you can see the symbol. It is loading here, this blue color line. Fine. Like I said, nothing much, only next, next, next. Yeah, only here, web server, IIS. Add features. Next, next, next. install. Again, here also you need to wait 2 to 3 minutes, I think. 3 to. And then we are good to go. And if you remember in yesterday's class, I told you every time in the companies, we are not going to create web server every time manually, right? That's what, because in the middle of the night, if suddenly load increases, what will you do? Will you keep on launching servers, install web package? Will you do all these things manually? No, everything will be automated. A server will be launched. Inside that web application will be installed. Web package will be installed and the web content will be run and automatically it will be attached to the load balancer, and that new web server will take customers traffic from the load balancer, and that is how load will be balanced, and automatically servers will be increased, automatically servers will be decreased as per the customer's traffic with their mechanism called auto scaling, which is very, very important. And it's not easy as said. There are many options we need to configure that we'll see in the practicals, right, in the next week when we start it. But before that, you need to get these things clarified. Web server means not only Linux. Web server means if tomorrow anyone asks, yes, it will be supported by Linux as well as Windows. Whatever you want, you can use it. But in companies, we prefer Linux only as a web server because Linux is robust, guys. That means it is very fast and it can give response very quickly for the customer's request. That's why you see, that's the reason why they will test your Linux knowledge in the interviews, and not much of Windows. Windows generally we use in our day-to-day life in our homes like that, but usually in the companies, out of, if let's say in your project there are 100 servers, out of them 90 servers will be Linux only, remaining 10 servers will be Windows. That also we don't use daily, that is already somewhere created. When the project has started, they created web Windows servers and they installed some softwares, but we never use it day to day life. Generally in the companies, every day the project runs, your applications, everything runs on Linux servers only, Linux or flavors of Linux. Okay, installation is completed, so you can close it. This one I will close. Now you can go to the C drive and create that index file in that folder. C drive, initpub, www root, delete this. Index, enter, open the file. Then you can mention this web server is hosted on wantedly. So yesterday someone asked me why you did not give the same content. If you want same content, what I will do same here also, I will say Windows 1. But you don't know. When I explain you the load balancing concept, you will say I don't understand where traffic is going. But to make you understand, wantedly I'm giving you another number here. I can give Windows 1 here also, but wantedly I'm giving here Windows 2 to make you understand that load balancer is sending to different machines. Okay. Control S, file, save as. And then here, convert this to all files and then give the .html in the end. .html, enter. And you can delete that notepad file. Just delete, close it. Now I will give you this IP also, the second web server IP. In the chat box, you can check it over. Those two, yeah, this is the public IP. Web server 2 IP. Of course, a security grip is already attached in this HTTP is open, so immediately you should be able to see. Yeah, you see, this web server is hosted on Windows 2. This is Windows 2 instance, and this is Windows 1 instance. So both are running individually fine, but you can't rely only on one server. Yesterday we discussed, what did we discuss? Google, Facebook, Instagram, all these companies, will they rely only on one computer? No, there will be thousands of servers, and all the servers will be placed behind a load balancer. Now let's go ahead, create a load balancer first, and then we will place these web servers behind the load balancer. That means we will attach the web servers to the load balancer. This is nothing new. We have discussed in yesterday's class already. In the left side, under load balancing, load balancers, and create load balancer. Again, in coming classes, we'll discuss exclusively in detail what are these different load balancers, in which scenarios we use which one later. But as of now, yeah, just say my elastic load balancer. Something. Today we are launching with Windows, right? So just for our understanding purpose, I will say Windows. And this one, some of you are still get confused with this option. Let me explain you. Why, what these availability zones, these are, first of all, these are not regions, these are availability zones. And I don't want any one of you to get confused between regions and availability zones anymore. Now you're not fresher anymore, at least with the concept related to regions and availability zone. What is the blind rule? Region name always ends with a number 1, 2, 3. If it ends with a number, it is a region. If it ends with an alphabet A, B, C, these things, then it is an availability zone. So in Mumbai region, AP South 1 is a region, and in Mumbai region we are having 3 data centers. That can be Chennai, this can be Delhi, this can be Jaipur. Now what they're saying, okay, you're creating a load balancer, and in which availability zones do you want this load balancer to be compatible? That means tomorrow, if I am launching 3 web servers in 1A, this is one web server, in 1B, another web server, in 1C, another web server. But while creating the load balancer, let's assume you did not select this option. Did not select this option. You selected only 1A availability zone, 1B availability zone. Now, can you attach this web server 3, which you have launched in 1C availability zone, to this load balancer? Can you attach? Does your load
Yes.
balancer work on 1C availability zone? No, because you did not select the option. So what happens? Whatever the web servers you have launched in 1A, 1B availability zones, only those web servers you can attach to the load balancer, because you have selected only 1A and 1B here. That is the actual concept, and that is the actual reason why we were selecting all the 3. Because even though if Chennai data center is down, we want traffic to be sent to Delhi and Jaipur. Even though if Jaipur is down, it has to be sent to Chennai, Delhi. That's what we discussed, right, in the demo class. Even though if any one city, entire city data center goes down also, you don't need to worry. We have backup and we have configuration which will be sent, and customers will be always able to see the website. That's the reason why we select all the general in the companies also. Every time, what is the best practice? There will be best practices. As a part of best practice, this is one of the best practice, that you should always select all the availability zones whenever you're creating a load balancer. And security group, the same security group, whatever the security group you have attached to your server, the same thing will be attached. We should not use default. That also I will say in coming classes. Default security group is there, but we won't use it. We will not use it, and we should not use it. Why, I will say. And these things also we'll discuss when I explain you the auto scaling class. So this is the health check file. This is something called health check file. Automatically it will detect whether the index.html file is there inside your computer, in your server, or not. Now let's go ahead and add instances manually. Like I told you, I know, you see, I skipped so many options here. This. I am not skipping forever. Once we start the auto scaling class, before explaining you the auto scaling, then first I will explain you all these options very clearly. Then only I will explain you auto scaling. Okay. That's it. Create load balancer. What did we discuss in yesterday's class? Does load balancer have an IP or a name?
DNS.
Name.
Name. And the technical name means what? We call it as
DNS.
DNS. And like I told you, for initial first classes, just remember IP or DNS. Both are same only. But once I explain you networking concept, then you will understand clearly what is the difference between IP or DNS. Instances, computers will have IP address, IP1, IP2. Whereas load balancer will have DNS. So this is number, this is number, this is name. Now this DNS, yeah, I will give to my customers so that their traffic, so they should be able to see the website. Yeah, you can type in your browser and you can check it who are watching the video in the laptop or mobile. Mobile also, it works on mobile also. Okay. What did we discuss? What is the characteristics or advantage of a load balancer? Anyone remember? What is the first advantage of a load balancer?
Distribution of load.
Right. The name itself, load balancer. Answer is there in that only. Load is balanced. That means load is, how load is balanced? Because you are distributing the load. Whenever 100 people are, let's say 100 people are accessing facebook.com. So what this load balancer will, it will send 50 requests here. It will send 50 requests here. So that is what you mean by you're balancing the load. If all the 100 requests come here only, what will happen? Load will be more on this mission. But whereas if you're sending 50 requests here and if you're sending another 50 here, load is balanced, right? Load is balanced. So the first characteristic of a load balancer is it distributes the load, it balances the load. And how can I prove that? Same. When I refresh, when you do hard refresh, you see one, see here, 1, 2, 1, 2, it is changing. But actually what happens in the companies? This web content will be always same, right? When you type google.com, when I type google.com, when you type google.com, when anyone type google.com, everyone will see this only, right? Why? Because in this place, they'll keep Google same only. In all the 1,000 web servers, they'll keep the same web content. Right? But being a customers, we don't know. When you type google.com, maybe your traffic will go to 800 server. When I type google.com, maybe it went to 500 server. Right? So being customers, we don't know traffic is going to which one. When you type google.com, your request might go to here. When I type google.com, it might go to here. We don't know that. We think, because we are not technical people, or maybe who are not technical people, they think, okay, if there is only one computer, all traffic is going to one computer. No, all MNC big products will have multiple web servers and the traffic will be distributed among the servers. That's the reason why in companies, even though out of 1,000 web servers, even the 2, 3, 10, 100 web servers are also down because of some network configuration, because of some technical reasons. We don't know. Being a customers, we don't know that 100 servers are down. The cloud engineers working in the project, they can check in the backend. But we as a customers, we will never face any downtime. That's the whole purpose of business, right? What will happen if you do not see website? Let's say whenever you're typing flipkart.com, out of 10 times, 8 times you are not able to see website. Will you do shopping next time onwards? No, you will say, no, yeah, that website is very waste. It won't work anytime. Better do shopping in amazon.com. So what happened there? Flipkart is losing business because it is not able to keep up their website always continuously. So quality is important. That is our job. Being a technical person, you should make sure always your website is available to the customers. For that reason only we are using these components, load balancers, auto scaling, all these things. Now this is first characteristic I prove. What is the second characteristic? Anyone remember what is the advantage of load balancer? Second advantage?
Sends traffic to healthy server.
Very good. Traffic is sent only to the healthy server. So to prove that, what I can do, I will make one server as unhealthy. Unhealthy means simply I will stop it. Stop the instance. And how can we know, being a cloud engineer, how can yeah, it shut down, that's what it is saying, it is ended the session. How can we know that it is not working or it is not healthy? You have to go to the load balancer. Behind the load balancer, under the target instances, whatever the instances you have attached to that load balancer, it will give the status, the health check status of that particular server. Yeah, you see, Windows 2 is out of service. That's what I'm saying. This thing customers don't know. Customers will see google.com anytime, even though this is done. But being a cloud engineer, only the technical people who are working in the project, we can know which is down, which is not working, all these things. Now what happens, whenever customers type this website, all the traffic will go only to the Windows 1 only. That's why you see Windows 1, Windows 1, Windows 1. That's it. Again, whenever the server becomes healthy, whenever the web server becomes healthy, you don't need to manually transfer the traffic. Load balancer will automatically detect, okay, this guy came back again, now he is healthy. I will send traffic to this instance also because it is healthy now. And of course it will take some time usually, even though in the beginning when you're launching web server, or in between when it become healthy and healthy also, at some 2 to 3 minutes it will take to come into the healthy state. Why it is taking 2 to 3 minutes? I will say you the technical reason. There is something called timeout, time in limit, that is very very important. Those are some options while launching the load balancer that we will discuss later. Now is it up or not? Let's check. Go to the load balancers, target instances. This is the refresh. Like I told you, refresh at console level. Yeah, now you see came into service. Now if you do refresh, I should see both Windows 1 and 2 again. Okay, 1 and 2, 1 and 2, 1 and 2. So now once you're done practicing, yeah, just make sure you delete the load balancer. Load balancer is free of cost. You no need to worry. It is free tier only. You can practice it. You won't get any bill. And once you're done with these things, just make sure you terminate the instances also. So now what has been proven in today's class? Same thing. Web server. We can convert a Windows server also into a web server, and those servers are also compatible with the load balancer, same like Linux. And what happens actually in the companies? In companies, mostly 95% all the projects we use Linux servers only, or the flavors of Linux only as the web servers, but not Windows, because Linux are robust and they are fast. They give fastest response to the customers when compared to the Windows. Okay, Windows are also used in projects, but very less. Like I said, out of 100, only 10. That also only for running some softwares which we don't use on a day-to-day basis. Yeah, this you can, since you have terminated the missions, the RDP sessions will be automatically timed out. Yeah. And like I said, I will be sending the documentation also, that installation steps of server. And those are not having any doubts, yeah, you can please leave the meeting. We'll meet in tomorrow's class, same time. But those are having doubts, yeah, you please stay back and get your doubts clarified.
Sir, how many web servers shall we can download in one system, sir?
I think you're good. You mean how many web servers can you attach to the load balancer or create?
Both create and load balance.
There is no limit. There is no limit. So the big it depends upon your product. So let's say if my company is Google, so I have 1 lakh web servers. That means there will be 1 lakh EC2 instances running. Maybe let's say yours a startup product. Your company just started a product. Not much customers are there for you. So you'll have 4 or 5 like that. So it depends upon your product. But there is no limit. That's why yesterday I explained you why the word elastic is there for a load balancer here. It can take any number of requests from the customers, 1 million requests, 2 million requests, 10 million requests, any number of requests the load balancer can take. But how many load web servers you want to attach, that depends upon your project, or that depends upon your product.
Okay, sir.
Sir, one question.
Yeah.
Sir, for example, I have a e-commerce application.
Okay.
So that application have multiple server or multiple region available in the data center content that specific server, or that will contain
Yeah,
multiple
understood your
location.
question. The same e-commerce application will be hosted in all the web servers in different availability zones.
Okay, that means you are saying multiple webs there physically multiple web servers are there, and they
Correct.
are connected with the multiple availability zone. Correct?
Correct. So when I say in Delhi also
Uh,
there is Flipkart.com. In
yes,
Chennai also there is Flipkart server. In Jaipur also there is Flipkart server physically.
physically. Okay.
Yes.
Okay, got it, got it.
Yeah.
Second question, sir.
Yeah.
Like we are creating the instance in one region. Okay.
Yes.
So, for example, we create one instance in Mumbai zone, but we are checking inside Mumbai zone. There is several availability zone.
Availability zones. Correct. Mumbai
Okay.
is region.
Yeah, Mumbai is region,
Right.
and availability zone are different city, other
Right.
city.
In Mumbai. So in
Uh,
Mumbai is just for a naming convention. Actually
yes.
in Mumbai nothing will be there. In Mumbai the actual
Physical.
physical centers will be there here in the availability zones. Chennai, Delhi and Jaipur. Here actually the physical data centers are there for Amazon company.
Yes, my question is that can do suppose I have application running on worldwide, okay, running on worldwide, can be the transaction also working on worldwide.
Okay.
So if do we create the instance in Mumbai region, and I have choose using the balancer, I create three web server, and in three they are running on three available zone.
Right.
Can I select any other region
Yes,
instead of Mumbai
yes,
region?
yes, yes. We can select. So how we have launched our web servers in three availability zones. Same way we can launch the same your e-commerce application in different regions also. In
Yes.
Singapore, there are three availability zones. There also I will launch Flipkart web servers. In US, there are six availability zones. There also I will launch. It's just you have to spend money, but you can launch wherever you want.
Okay, okay. That though we create an instance while in the web server as a Mumbai region, but we can also launch in other region also.
Right,
Correct?
right. We'll launch.
Okay,
So
okay.
that
Thank
so
you.
that then only you will get, even though if entire Mumbai is down, still people can access your website because traffic will go to Singapore data center or US data center that time.
Okay, thank you. Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, hi. So how long the keeper file would be inactive? So can we use that folder file when we are in connecting the servers? I have downloaded the file 2 days back. Can we use that same keeper
Yes, yes, you
after
can
two
use that. You can
days?
use that. In tomorrow's class, I'm going to show you. In tomorrow's class, this doubt will be clarified. When we will download key pairs, whether should in actual in reality in companies do we download every time, and can we use the same key pair to multiple instances? Same the security group we'll discuss in tomorrow. So I'll show practical, then it will be clarified.
So another question. So you created the two instance manually, right? So
Right.
instead of that manually the creation of the second one, can we clone that first one? That can be. Is there any option to clone that
Yes,
first
that
one
that
to
that
avoid
I will
that?
show you as a part of the auto scaling. You no need to
Okay.
even clone also. It will only automatically clone. It will only automatically launch. It will only automatically attach. Everything is automated.
Okay. Thanks.
Yeah.
Sir,
Sir,
IIS stand.
I have missed something here.
Mm-hmm.
So suppose we have created Windows 1 and Windows 2 based on the load balancer, right? Suppose Windows 1 we given 30 GB and Windows 2 we have given 30 GB, right? When you stop on server that is Windows 1, so if traffic it will go to the Windows 2. I mean,
Right.
right?
Right.
So that time Windows 2 traffic jam it will happen, right? So how we
No,
will
it will not
overcome that?
happen. It will not happen. The only thing is the load on the server will be more. It's not like a jam. So when web server 1, web server 2 are working, what happened? 50 requests are coming here. 50 requests are coming here. So what happened here? Maybe CPU percentage is 50 percentage, or maybe let's say 40. And here again CPU percentage is 40 maybe. But now what happened if this is down completely? So what happened? All these other 50 also will go here. So here maybe now the CPU will be 80 percentage, like that.
Okay, sir.
Maybe if it crosses that also, okay, 100 also crossed, 200 came, then what will happen if CPU goes to 100 percentage? Then this will be down completely. That's what we discussed, right? So how we are going to deal with these things? When if the load is increasing on the machines, how will you automatically bring up a new web server? Because we can't keep on manually launching and attaching this. That we'll discuss in auto scale.
Okay, so the first one it will up. So that time again it will
Distribute the load.
share, right? Distribute the
Correct.
load. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah, there someone is asking question.
Hi there.
Yeah, Gautam.
Yeah, it's out of box only I'm asking, but just generally I want to know, like Windows and Linux, do we have the web server in iOS also?
Sorry, which one?
Mac OS.
No. Flavors of Linux is we have, but in IIS is only for Windows. But in Mac, Ubuntu, Linux, that's what I said. Flavors of Unix, all the softwares are same. Even the port number is same for everything. Ubuntu, Linux, Amazon Linux, Mac OS. That's the reason why we discussed about the history of OS in the first class.
Okay.
Yeah.
Even if there's a scenario, for example, let's say there's a website for creation of account, and the customer has requested for thousands of account. Basically, there's some bad job running, which will create thousands of account, and we have two web servers. And suddenly, as per the load balancer, the requests are distributed.
Mhm.
Now, suddenly, what happens is like out of these two web servers, uh, suddenly the one of the web servers, while doing some running half of the account batches, it just shut downs, or there's some breakdown on
Right.
that server. So as per the load balancer, the ones which are pending on the web server one, which has been shut down or breakdown, it will be rerouted to WS2 server 2.
Yeah.
Correct?
Correct.
Okay, but in how much does my query is that, like, in such cases, like, we usually, when we are running as a customer, the customer is running some application, there's some lag on the application, or there's some few seconds delay, or in the page loading and all that part. So
Right.
is that part also related to this load balancing, rerouting the
No.
traffic to the
Load
shutdown to the?
balancer is only exclusively deals with the web servers. Only the first point of contact. Whenever customer type facebook.com, google.com, the main focus of load balancer is just send that to the web server. That's it. After this, there are many layers. After that, we have something called application servers where the actual application will be running. After that, we
Yes.
are having database servers where actual data is present. So that even though if something is down here, these will be always working. From this, again, the new data will be pulled and the jobs will be continued from the data here, from application here, these things. So that's an entire project at the project level that will be taken care by the developers, the architects, all these things. You no need to worry about it because the each tasks will be distributed. Everyone has to do their own jobs there accordingly.
Okay, because there in the project there was a DevOps guy who used to manage this like this load balancer or and rerouting part.
Mm-hmm.
So at that time, this kind of queries we used to come, like, if suddenly the application starts failing,
Right,
uh, some query they used to raise on that person, right? Why
right,
it's not, the traffic is not being rerouted to that server, or a different region, for example,
right.
from one region to other region, why it's not rerouting.
So in
Such
that
kind
scenarios,
of.
you need to debug the scenarios. Even in today's also every day in my project also sometimes they raise a request to me. They will say, uh, customer is saying they're not able to see website sometimes or it is loading slowly. So what is the issue? Just check. So what we do first, we'll check the logs. What are the logs are registered in the web server? First, we will check that. If we find anything, we will say, okay, maybe your application was not working fine. Okay, developers, you check that issue. Or maybe if everything is fine in the web server, then next we will go to the load balancer logs. Whatever the traffic is coming to the load balancer, out of that traffic which is not going properly, which is going properly, why it did not go properly, that we will analyze being a cloud engineer. And then again we will decide whether it is our mistake, or maybe is it mistake from AWS company, or maybe it's mistake from the developers because of the application, these things. So we need to debug in that scenarios. There can be many reasons. There will not be a particular answer.
Okay, but this is usually common, right? This
Yeah,
kind of
that's
issue.
common. Yeah, usually common. Even in the big applications also. You same for Facebook, Google also. Sometimes it might load slowly.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Okay.
So in that scenarios, they have to check that why it is suddenly slowly. Is it because of network? Is it because of connection? Or is it because of some underlying hardware at Amazon data center? There can be many reasons. So sometimes we write to the support also, AWS customer care support first. We'll say that yesterday we are facing lag, so please check our logs and say what happened, we will say. So they will also check at their end, we will also check at our end, and then we'll come to a conclusion what can be the issue, and we will make sure it is not repeating by taking proper necessary actions next time
Okay.
only.
So the first point of contact will be will be only the first point of contact to first look whether it is from our end or it's from the developer end also.
Correct.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, Gautam, that is not possible, uh, but whenever you have any doubt, yeah, you can ask me.
Sir, IIS stands.
IIS, good question. Didn't- Yes. Check. Yes.
That's, I think, in Internet Information Services, I believe.
Server. Internet Information Services. Yeah.
Okay,
Uh, Revant, two queries.
Yeah.
Uh, yeah, so the first one is whatever we are doing in this AWS, right? Are these events logged?
Yes, everything is logged inside the web server. The load balancer logs that we will show when I discuss S3, where the logs will be saved, will how to access that logs, how to analyze that logs. We will everything will be logged. Yeah. We'll have that information.
So event logging is auto-enabled.
Each and everything, each and everything. Your IP address also I can say. Your what is your laptop IP, your home Wi-Fi IP I will say by seeing the logs if you access
Okay,
my
cool.
website.
Sure. And the second thing is that these connections, whatever we are establishing, are these connections encrypted?
As of now, no, because we are just using on HTTP protocol. In the next class, I will explain you HTTPS, how you can secure, how you can encrypt your traffic whenever you're accessing website by explaining the concept of that SSL certificates, those things. How can we make our website encrypted so that the traffic is encrypted? But in today's class, as of now in the website, it's not encrypted. It's just HTTP. It's a self plain text protocol. It's not a secure protocol.
Okay, sure. Thank you.
Okay, guys. Yeah, we'll meet in tomorrow's class. Have a good night. Yeah, bye.
Sir, I have a small doubt,
Yeah,
sir.
you can ask me. No problem. Yeah, I thought it's
Sir,
complete.
in first class, we have downloaded AWS, no, sir?
What?
That means that in first class, we have created AWS account, no, sir?
Correct.
After that, in second class, we have created, means that we have downloaded and created AWS free tier, no, sir?
No, whatever the account we have created in the first class, that is your AWS free tier account. And we are
Okay.
practicing in this free tier account only. So whatever you are doing every day, that is free of cost. You don't need to pay any money for creating this server, for practicing these things. That is what I mean by free tier account. This is free for 1 year, this AWS account.
After 1 year, we need to pay, sir?
Yes, after 1 year you can use it. But what happens now, if you launch Windows Server and use it for 1 hour, you need to pay 10 rupees after 1 year. But now you don't need to pay it.
In next day's class, we have created Unix, means that,
Linux, yes.
yes, sir. We have created extra Unix like web server and window one like that daily we need to create, no, sir?
Yes. So we will be creating everything. So usually in companies we'll create and it keeps on running, but here we are practicing and we are terminating it. That's the only difference.
So that daily we need to download or create windows like that, sir.
Yeah, whichever instance you want to launch, you will launch that instance, you will practice it. You're not downloading anything, right? What did I download today? Did I download anything today?
No, sir. Extra day we have downloaded Putty, but
Yes,
today we did not.
exactly. That only one time. So Putty is a software. Once you have downloaded in your laptop, it will be, you see now, if I search Putty in my laptop, it will be there here, you see, Putty. So I'll just click
Yes, sir.
that and the software will open. So you don't need to download every day.
Okay, sir. Okay, thank you, sir.
Yeah, no problem. Okay, guys, yeah, have a good night.
हेलो
We'll meet. Yeah, you
हेलो
can ask.
सर मेरा एक क्वेश्चन था
हाँ,
कल ना मैंने एक लिनक्स सर्वर इंस्टॉल किया था। मैं अभी उबंटू मतलब प्रैक्टिस उबंटू पे कर रही हूँ।
ओके,
तो लाइक कल आपने बताया था ना कि पीपीके की इंस्टॉल करना है, मतलब वो
राइट,
हम की करते हैं ना
राइट,
लिनक्स कनेक्ट करने के लिए।
राइट.
तो व्हेन आई कनेक्टिंग वाया एसएसएच तो वो हो नहीं रहा था, मुझे एरर शो कर रहा था,
हाँ,
पीपी
sure.
के ही
नहीं,
दे रहा
कल
था।
कल
और
मैं आई विल शो यू इन टुमारोज क्लास एक्चुअली दैट, क्योंकि उबंटू का इश्यू होता है उससे. इन
हम्म,
इन टुमारोज क्लास आई
और
विल शो यू
मैंने फिर
हाउ लॉन्च उबंटू एंड हाउ टू कनेक्ट टू दैट.
ओके फिर मैंने पुट्टी इंस्टॉल किया
हम्म,
उबंटू पे। तो फिर वहां पे ना जैसे कि हमने कनेक्शन में जाके वो ऑथेंटिकेशन आता है एसएसएच में,
राइट,
वहां पे दो ऑप्शन आते हैं ना, क्रेडेंशियल और
राइट,
जीएसएस
राइट.
वाली। तो क्रेडेंशियल वहां पे आ ही नहीं रहा था। तो जब मैंने ऑथेंटिकेशन पे वहां पे प्राइवेट की थी ना, तो वो वहां पे मतलब ओपन की तो फिर मेरा डायरेक्ट पुट्टी क्लोज हो रहा था, मतलब कनेक्ट ही नहीं हो रहा था।
Okay, you just send me the screenshot maybe in the WhatsApp. I will check that.
ओके सर।
क्योंकि होना चाहिए ना, because it's just a software. It should be
मैं
same for everyone.
आपको स्क्रीन शेयर करके दिखा सकती हूँ
देखो,
अभी।
SSH authentication credentials यही पूछ रहे हैं ना आप, जो मैं दिखा रहे स्क्रीन में, देखो ये
हाँ, एसएसएच ऑथेंटिकेशन वो क्रेडेंशियल नहीं दिखा रहा था।
क्रेडेंशियल्स. इसमें प्लस बटन है ना, उसने दबा दिया आपने, प्लस ऑप्शन है यहाँ,
हाँ हाँ हाँ, दबा दिया था।
उसके बाद
तो वहां
क्रेडेंशियल्स
पे
आते हैं.
सिर्फ एक जीएसएस एपीआई करके दिखा रहा था।
हाँ, उसके
जब
ऊपर रहे
मैंने
होते हैं फिर.
ऑथेंटिकेशन पे स्टिल क्लिक किया था ना, तो ये जो प्राइवेट की फाइल ऑथेंटिकेशन था ना,
हम्म.
वो सिर्फ एक लाइन दिखाई दी मैंने, तो वहां पे मैंने ब्राउज किया था मेरी की।
शायद एक बार आप चेक कर दो कौन सा, कहाँ से डाउनलोड किया आपने पुट्टी, सेम वेबसाइट जो मैं आपको दिखाया हुआ है वहीं से डाउनलोड किया या दूसरा वेबसाइट से?
नहीं सर, मैंने डायरेक्टली टर्मिनल थ्रू डाउनलोड किया है यम इंस्टॉल पुट्टी।
अच्छा, ये मीन्स कौन सा सिस्टम आप यूज़ कर रहे हैं, आपका लैपटॉप?
उबंटू कर रही हूँ सर 22।
मतलब विंडोज़ लैपटॉप नहीं है आपका, उबंटू है आपका लैपटॉप?
नहीं नहीं, उबंटू पे
ओके, तो
लिनक्स यूज।
उबंटू, और आप उबंटू से, उबंटू एक्चुअली आप सीधा उसको, कुछ ज़रूरत नहीं, सीधा पेम से कनेक्ट कर सकते लिनक्स को.
हाँ, डायरेक्टली मैं ओके
तो इन द कमांड,
लाइक
और
वहाँ
जो
पे फिर
एग्जाम्पल है ना, जैसे आप यहाँ लिनक्स सेलेक्ट करके एक्शंस कनेक्ट में जाते हो, वहाँ एग्जाम्पल दिखा है ना कल, SSH-i की पे सीधा एज टीज वो
हम्म,
कॉपी करके कमांड लाइन में पेस्ट किया तो कनेक्ट हो जाते हैं. उसको कुछ सॉफ्टवेयर का ज़रूरत नहीं, क्योंकि
मतलब पेम
बोथ
फाइल
आर
ही हमें
सेम
इंस्टॉल
फ्लेवर्स ऑफ
करना है।
यूनिक्स है ना, इसलिए.
मतलब पेम की फाइल ही वो इंस्टॉल करनी पड़ेगी ना हमें।
कुछ इंस्टॉल जरूरत नहीं,
और
ऑलरेडी पेम डाउनलोड किया आपने. जैसे आप डाउनलोड करते हैं पेम से डाउनलोड कर सकते हैं, पेम ही यूज़ कर सकते हैं उबंटू टू लिनक्स.
आई थिंक उसको परमिशन भी देना पड़ेगी
नहीं,
ना।
मैं छोड़ दो आप, मैं कल
400।
कल मैं एक्सप्लेन करने वाला हूँ आपको, पेम कब यूज़ करते हैं, पीपीके कब यूज़ करते हैं, लाइनेक्स टू लाइनेक्स या उबंटू टू लाइनेक्स, जो भी उस समय कैसे हम कनेक्ट करते हैं, मैं बता देता हूँ आपको कल.
ओके सर, थैंक यू।
फाइन गस, या हैव a good night, bye.
Thank you, Raman.